one. This is the smallest among the quad cities that Mark was mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
So by means of the structures, by means of the building, nothing will add a star to you as an archaeologist. The biblical name is important, and in order to have their name as the head archaeologist for the coming excavations, there is a little bit like, Mark, yes, he's a good guy, but I can do better. And then you say, Levent and Mark, forget about them, I can do better.
So is Jalal Shimshek trying to, or vying to be the head archaeologist here?
Jalal has it over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's
also at Tripolis also.
Yeah,
So it may be that he's got his hands filled with those two.
He might, which will not surprise me, and which will be also good. But it's not him who's going to make the decision at the very end, unfortunately. So hopefully it will be Jalal Shimshek. I would love to see his name over here, because so far, whether he's doing it fast or slow, I don't care. He had done a lot of work in Hierapolis and in Laodicea, and maybe only that courtyard, gathering courtyard that we had seen, might have been reconstructed maybe in 6-7 years of time. And in one season, there you go, it was over there. So from a guide point of view, he is always a better archaeologist than a one who is quite slow.
So is this a modern city?
That is the modern town of Honas. It's actually, if we accept that cold, hot, and lukewarm was a type of the metaphors to the geographical characteristics of this area, then you're looking at the cold. There, the mountain springs coming from the hills and mountains, they're really ice cold water. Let's go to the top and see the direction. Yes, that's what I was planning, at least show you the direction of. It's a clear day, so we might see it. So to see Hierapolis, or the direction it's located, let's walk.
And then
where the
required to be in
Rhine is. So the white smoke coming out of the chimney, towards to the left side of it, that's where Hierapolis is located. And the hilly section with the gray stones, towards to the bottom of that hilly section, that's where Laodicea is located. So this is the cold. On the other side of the valley, that is hot, and in between Laodicea, the lukewarm.
So how far away are those?
Laodicea is just like, even with walk, it's like 2 hours, 3 hours max of walk away from here. And from Laodicea to Hierapolis, roughly 2.5 hours, 3 hours will take you there if you make a straight passage through the fields.
I've walked it from Hierapolis to Laodicea, and it was about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but I also followed the road for most of it. But if you cut straight across with the fields,
it will be
it's even less than that.
Yeah, and the number of the poplar trees can easily give you an idea about the abundance of water underneath. Poplar trees, they consume a lot of water. So even though you will not see many streams around, the number over here just can give you an idea. This is what will be called maybe as the Acropolis, or because of the mound and then the dust resting on it, this turned out to be a small hill-looking structure. Generally, I cannot see who is there, but I think it's Sofia. So that is the ground level for the city. That's why we can say, because the theater, the cavea, the seating part of the theater is in that direction.
Over there, yeah.
Yeah, it's like after the green grass, it's like a brown grass zone. So that's where the theater of the city was, and it's fairly a small one, and it was extending towards the direction behind us. In front, you can see the late Byzantine church. The foundations of it is over there, and the apse of the church is like the semicircular section is right in front of us. That's private property. We cannot, in a way, walk into that part. And also the rocky sections to the left side of it, you can see some rectangular cuts there. So that was the necropolis. If the necropolis is that close to the city, then you can, generally speaking, talk about a small population over here. If it was a huge population, then the necropolis should have been a bit away to keep away from the disturbing smell.
The necropolis is over on this side also. There's a stream that runs through here.
I didn't know
several
that
tombs over there. There's an orchard over there, which I've walked through, and there are some rock-cut tombs that you can see on the side of the stream.
That's nice to learn. But this part that we know as Colassae looks like a very limited spot, but underneath the orchards and the fields over there, for sure the city will be there. And in Turkey, you can always get surprised in a way. It seems like a little spot, but it turns out to be a massive zone. It will not be as big as Laodicea though, but still a considerable size would have been present over here. But unfortunately, even in the Bible, we have the reference to the slave who escaped and now who's returning back. And other than that, when you read the Acts, the Revelation, you can have a fair idea about at least the community and the important events in Ephesus. When you just read the works of the historians, ancient historians, there's always a reference to Laodicea, or to Ephesus, or to Pergamon, or to Smyrna, but no one even among the old historians make much reference to the city of Colassae. So it must have been not of a big importance, let's say, as a Roman city. But the biblical point of view, for sure it was, in my opinion, as important as Laodicea, because this is the most eastern church that we can talk about. From here till Iconium, which the road carries on in that direction, there are multiple cities and settlements like Apamea and the others. We know during the first journey, Paul evangelized Iconium, Lystra, Derbe, Pisidia, and Antioch. But from here, even to drive to Pisidia and Antioch, you need like 2.5 hours of driving. So in that distance, we don't have much information, and that is the reason why in this part of the Roman world, this was most outer extent of the Christian churches that we can obtain information from the Bible and from the works of the early historians.
If we want to walk over that way, we see a lower level of, I don't think it's the Acropolis, I think we're on the Acropolis, but there's a lower level, and then it drops down from there into the, what probably would have been, we don't know for sure, but the lower city. So there's two different levels up here on the hillside. You can also see some columns that are strewn in the lower level of the upper area.
The ones wearing shorts, please pay attention to the thistles. They hurt and you will itch like crazy.
This was land that was heavily farmed. More recently, I don't know if they've purchased it from the farmer or if the farmer has stopped farming this, but I mean, I've been up here a time when it was plowed, crops were up here, and no doubt as the fields were farmed and plowed, artifacts were probably found here as well.
Even these
little ones. Yeah.
From here you can look down to the lower level of the upper part. And then off on the left-hand side, this is the orchard that I was talking about. And then further to the right-hand side of the orchard, you can see again that stream that's cut its way through the rock. And in that area, we have some rock-cut tombs into the side of the stream bed. It used to be you could see some architectural fragments, not many, just a few. It's hard for me to see them now. They may have actually removed them. But I think over here you see a plant. It's not really a tree. And on the right-hand side, do you see a stone piece? You see what I'm talking about? I believe that's an architectural piece. Oh, over here, yeah, on the right-hand side, looks like another architectural piece.
Mark, let's buy this field and start our private excavation.
Get into trouble doing that.
Well, at least our names will be in the headlines.
Yeah, at least, yeah, one way or another. Tour guide and archaeologist imprisoned in Turkey. Yeah, this is the orchard that I was talking about. And as I walked through there, I think the farmer had indicated that there were some tombs there that he pointed out. He didn't go there and show me them, but I found them. And then you can see how it slopes down. And then if we go over this direction also, it slopes down to the road where we were. And on that side, I think with the brush, we're not going to try and get to the theater, but there's hardly anything to see at the theater. Just a few architectural pieces.
No archaeology at all.
Nothing has been done. But what we can do is we can take the bus down. He'll have to turn around anyways. And as we're traveling past that theater, you'll be able to see the cave. You can see the hollow. It's basically all you're going to see is the semicircular hollow of the cave. And that's where it was.
I guess we can point them out.